Coming up, apparently the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp have an extra few dollars to waste. Have y'all heard about that new promotion? Plus, it's the battle of the potato. And our VIP co-host is ready to be heard. Let's kick it, y'all. The chat starts now.
Everyone, and welcome to the chat. I'm Catalina Alers. We've got Henny Angelia, and joining the panel today, some testosterone guest host, Jacksonville Armada player Zach Steinberger. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for braving the table.
Hey, thanks
Welcome
for
to
having
the
me.
chat.
I hope you know what you just walked into, man. It's going to be a little crazy.
It looks dangerous.
All right, well,
how's
how's the team doing this year?
Thank you.
Oh my God.
We're having,
Henny,
we're having
down.
a moment right now.
There's going to be several of those, so just, you know.
I'm going to be
just
good
know.
today. I'm going to be good.
I believe it when I see it.
Yeah, we'll check in a few minutes.
Real quick, how's the team doing? How's the Armada doing?
Really well. Right now we're in second place. We play the first place team this weekend.
Nice.
So if we get a win there, then
And
we're
you will?
of course.
Yes.
Then we're going to be looking really good for maybe winning the spring season.
Nice.
That sounds good. All right, well, we're going to learn more about you and the team a little later in the show, but we have got some hot topics to dive into. All right, so you're good, right? You're ready?
I was born ready.
Okay, all right.
Ooh, I love that.
All right, so we're going to start with the new promotion from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp that has a lot of people talking today. The team says it will be handing out free pregnancy tests to fans at the game Thursday in honor of the You Might Be the Father's Day. They say that way dads will know if they need to return to the Father's Day game on Sunday. They advertise the game as an evening filled with suspense, intrigue, and manila envelopes. That just sounds like a mess waiting to happen. And it's Thirsty Thursday, too, so you're going to have people wondering if they're pregnant and also possibly drunk at the same time.
You know, the only thing that's missing is Maury Povich.
Right?
You are the
father.
You know what? I know there has to be a reasoning behind this. There has to be. I'm sure they're just having a little fun because, you know, they're new in town. They're doing awesome. Shout out to Mr. Babby. But I think it's a little sexist. I do.
Why?
Because why are you giving out pregnancy tests? Why you ain't giving out condoms?
Well, but it's just, it's
See, I don't think,
fun.
why are you
I don't
not
think,
giving, I mean, the thing is, you can't take a pregnancy test and figure out who the father is. And that's the whole point of this whole promotion, is to get a pregnancy test, and whoever the father is gets to come back on Sunday game. So that being said, how is that a paternity test? You know, that's a female pregnancy test. So you need a paternity test instead, like the Maury Povich days.
Yeah.
Then you are the father.
What's
that's
the
not
point?
for
I
the
think
pregnancy
it's more
test.
like an
It's from being on a
obvious
stick.
one, though. But I think if a couple shows up together and the woman, like, I guess, like, if they're doing it secretly is what I want to know. If, like, a woman can go off and grab one while she's on her way to the bathroom and then come back and surprise her boyfriend, husband, fiance, or whatever, like, hey, by the way, I'm pregnant.
I don't think that's the way
there's
anybody
random-
wants to hear
No,
that they are pregnant.
that is not.
You
Probably
wouldn't want your
not.
girlfriend to do that
Definitely
at a
not.
baseball game with a bud in your hand.
I'm just really curious how many guys are going to get drunk enough to actually pee on the stick.
I feel like it's Thirsty Thursday.
No, you wouldn't.
It will happen. But
100%.
What is it with baseball, though? And they're odd promotions. They're always known for these really crazy promotions. I mean, like Scientology night, or, you know, I mean, whenever I talked about it last time.
Scientology night.
They always have, like, crazy promotions. And they had what was it, I think it was the Sox, the
Crazy
Sox
Chicago
or something?
Sox. Chicago. They had actually one of these 10-cent night beer nights.
Oh,
so
wow.
kind of like a Thirsty
That's
Thursday
it.
for
Yeah.
$1 the
Yeah.
beer. Well, it was 10 cents. So you can buy 10 beers for $1.
Oh,
And so they
wow.
had naked people running around the stadium. They had people fighting.
You know what-
Was that you?
me.
Was that you?
It was not.
You know why
know
they
why?
do this? Because baseball is boring. It's such a slow
Except
game.
the Jacksonville
I'm
Jumbo Shrimp. Have
sorry.
you eaten from there before?
Not
You don't
not
go to the
I
game
haven't
for
been
the
to a
baseball
Shrimps
game
game
anymore.
yet.
You go to eat. They have some good food.
Yeah, they
they
did
have
improve the
upped their
menu.
game next door. They
Yeah.
really have.
But
But you know
baseball's
why
for
they do
family.
this? Because we're talking about it. That's good, and that's going to make you say, "I want to go see what this is all about."
I'm gonna go see the crazy guys drunk enough to pee on a pregnancy stick.
100%.
That's
No.
So you came to see me.
So is the
Can't wait.
Armada,
Look for him in the third row.
is the Armada going to come up with something a little cray-cray?
I hope so. That
See?
sounds
Oh,
so
yeah,
exciting.
right?
I haven't been to a Jumbo Shrimp game yet, but I'm 100% going now.
Yeah, of course.
I will
It's
be
a
there.
genius. It's all marketing. I love it.
Okay, well, here's something that's really interesting. A New Jersey media teacher has been suspended over yearbook censorship. Grant Berardo says his Make America Great Again t-shirt was altered in his school yearbook picture. The school says the advertiser of the yearbook club has been suspended indefinitely due to alleged censorship of images and quotes by students who supported President Trump. Now, that's not the only story we've heard this week about altered photos. A mom was completely outraged after her 8-year-old son's missing teeth was actually photoshopped back in his mouth by the school's photo company. So, guys, we all talk about Photoshop. Even, what's his name? One of the rappers talks about Photoshopping. Stop doing it. I think
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, I think this is taking it to a whole different level, especially when kids are involved. And I say that only because sometimes in these young years when kids are missing their teeth, this is kind of mom's favorite time. She can see the snaggletooth.
They can't whistle. They can't say their S's. It's adorable.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, yeah. But for them to do this without the parents' consent, to me, is kind of crossing the line.
Well, I think it's mean because I think it's public shaming. I think, you know, because,
shaming?
yeah, I think that's shaming the child
Why?
in some way. Because, I mean, you think about the child that has no teeth, and that's actually saying, well, you're not cute. You need teeth. See, that's not picture
awful.
perfect. So let's go ahead and give you teeth, which of course it does look better. But the fact is, the little boy's going to go, but my teeth. What happened to my teeth, Mom? And that's what you're going to. That's where there's going to be problems. Mom's going to say, well, you are cute without your teeth, sweetie.
Yeah.
But that's going to. I don't know. I think that's going to imprint on their, you know, their.
Self-esteem.
I don't know. Yeah, I think their ego. You know,
I can see that too.
down the road.
I can see that, but you know, the mom is not taking this lightly. She is doing something. She's trying to get something done about it. So, you know, we'll see. What are your thoughts?
For me, it takes away a memory they're going to have later in life when they're they're looking back on yearbooks and they see, wow, I was really ugly. And that's a huge confidence booster at one point in your life. You're going to look back at these yearbooks and be like, God, look how far I've come. And when they're photoshopping teeth in and they're making them look better, then you're like, oh wow, I was actually kind of good looking as a second grader.
What happened to me
what
now?
happened?
Right?
Like, what happened? I didn't really,
Yeah.
I didn't progress.
Yeah.
We're the
Especially
games.
when they didn't get the parents' consent to do it. That's
Yeah.
kind of the messed up part. But I think we have a few pictures of a few people at this table. Who is this?
The only brown girl at the table. Who else do you think it is?
What are you talking about?
That picture, I remember I hated
That's
that
not
hat.
Jack.
I would have actually
I
been
love
okay
that.
if they had photoshopped this hat. I
You
was
were
so
super cute.
mad. I was so mad because I had to carry the hat in a little bag with me all day. I was so mad at my mom because we were going through a hat phase at that age. My mom used to wear them to church every Sunday.
Yep.
I
Your
would wear
mom
them
is
every
old
now
school.
and then.
Yeah, but the hat made the
it's cute.
outfit.
It did.
And the thing is, if they had taken that hat away, if they had taken it off, or they had done something with your teeth, I mean, what would you feel? How would you think about that?
I think I would have been. I probably wouldn't have been happy with it. Because
Yeah.
it is really, looking back on it, like it's adorable. I
That's
was
a
cute.
phenomenal
Okay,
picture.
I
Yes.
was really
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's somebody else.
How cute is that?
Wow, somebody was not happy.
Yeah, that's like the surfer's
That's,
bowl haircut.
Oh yeah, I was practicing that look all week. Called that one Blue Steel.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, jeez.
Was
That's
that
cute.
like mid headbutt? What is that?
Yeah, that's a header, I think, that probably went fantastic.
Oh man.
You
Look at the
I'm sure
luxurious
it's a
bowl
goal.
cut
It looks like a
flapping in the
goal.
wind.
Yeah.
That's
You looked very
great.
happy.
Yeah, they only. Oh, wow.
And then there's
That's me. Oh, that's you. Sorry. The other brown girl.
My,
the
how
other
you
one.
changed.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about this.
Oh my God, you
Yep,
look
this is my
amazing.
Catalina hair. Teased to high
Yes.
heaven. Oh my
Aquanet
gosh,
was in
so
full effect
happy.
back then.
Yes,
Aquanet.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'd do it
99
right now if
cent.
I could.
Who is that? The other brownie.
No, that's me.
Yeah, the brown girl.
That's you.
That's me.
Yeah, that's me and you. You know what? This is the only picture I could find last minute. It's me and my older sister. It's obvious which one I am. I'm cute back then, and I am now.
I can't believe
what
that
can
you're
I
not
do?
like cracking
Totally
up
kidding.
or something in this picture. The fact that you're just like so still and you're barely smiling is so
I remember this
surprising.
picture. We were on our way to church. We had to usher that Sunday, me and my sister, and I was not happy about it because I
Of
wanted to
course.
stay home to watch Fat Albert instead. And so my mom was like, "Take a picture."
Like
that it was.
any kid totally would. I love it. It was
That's
just so
awesome.
precious. All right, something else that may have you laughing, a wacky new bathing suit. That might have a message behind it. So what would you think if you saw a woman walking around the beach with this suit on? It's
Is
called
that
the
what you guys tried to get me?
Yes, exactly. We told Zach that he needed to model it for us. He wasn't about it, mostly because he didn't know what it looked like anyway.
Oh,
But this is it, the Sexy Chest one-piece swimsuit. A company called Beloved Shirts designs and sells the swimsuit. Some say it calls attention to the fact that men can walk around topless in America without any issue, and in most places that women can't. Others say this is just plain weird. I kind of dig it, guys. I'm not going to lie.
I am really surprised that you, Catalina Allures.
You should not be surprised that I think this weird
that you would want to
hairy-baiting-
rock something like that.
I kind of do, because you know that whole that movement on Instagram and social media in general, like free the nipple, like
No.
it's such a it is. I mean, Chelsea Handler.
Free the nipple?
Yeah,
Oh,
Chelsea
I've
Handler
heard about
has
the Chelsea
posted.
Handler one.
I'm sure there's a
Yeah,
cutoff
she's
age for
purposely
that.
posted topless photos because of this. I mean, what half of the reaction to the swimsuit is that why do men get to walk around topless and women can't? It's really
True.
no different. But I think it's kind of, it just looks so weird, and I really like it. And
I actually know whose body that was
comes
modeled
in-
off of.
Whose?
That's our goalkeeper, Caleb Patterson-Sewell.
That's
Nice.
adorable.
Just got
he's
called
gonna
out.
get you. You
He
must
just
get
got called
ready.
out.
You are
I really
gonna
hope
get
he's
it.
watching.
You are gonna get it. Oh my
I
gosh.
think it was time that they did this. I mean, remember back in the day, you may not, Catalina, you may not either, but back in the day, there were pictures. I mean, there were the T-shirts where they had the women
Yes,
yes,
and the,
yes.
you know, the
Bikinis.
female body. And so a lot of guys wore those, and they thought that that was really funny and hysterical. So I think it's kind of time to flip the page a
It's
little
come
bit.
full
Why
circle.
not? I think it's a good idea.
And look, and I love that
Wow.
it includes all the diversity.
colors.
You can get it in any skin tone that you are.
Well, there's a few.
I
They're
love
still
this.
missing a few. There's the
This
really,
is a
really
good
pale,
start, though.
and there's the really, really dark, like 12:02 midnight type of dark.
Don't nobody see the pale. All right, that is already
So
scary
they're,
enough. when
but
someone goes
I
out
can
to the beach.
appreciate them adding the different skin tones, but it's just disgusting.
It's so fun.
I think it's hilarious.
I like the luscious V of hair. It's really
like
nice.
it's
On
the
who, a
hair.
man or a woman?
Well, it's on the
Apparently.
swimsuit.
Oh,
so
okay. Clarify
technically-
yourself, brother. You got to clarify on this here show.
I like we have Adrienne that's coming up next, you know, in one of the segments, and she said it looks like the belly of a pig.
Yes.
I'm like, it so does. She's so right.
I'm gonna wear it. And I'm gonna send Adrienne a picture of me wearing it. Just
Uh-huh.
Catalina.
full.
Yep.
All right, but coming up next, what makes a good fry?
She's over there snorting.
What makes a good fry? We're talking about the internet debate that's really letting you learn a lot about people's choices in food. Stay with us. Oh, yippee! And we're back on the Facebook.
Saba, wait, I got to learn how to use this thing, y'all. I'm old.
Oh,
I don't
Lord.
know how to use
Last
this.
Where's my phone?
It's too fancy.
Last minute learning.
Saba, you know, she says baseball is boring.
Thank you, Saba.
We want to give a shout out to Yvonne Shop in McClenny, Florida. She says, "What a waste of money." I'm assuming you're talking about the no.
Oh, the pregnancy test.
pregnancy
Yes,
test
the
promotion?
pregnancy test. What a waste of money. That's right. I agree with you, Miss Yvonne.
It ain't your money, so what are you worried about?
It doesn't matter. You can do something else with that money. Do something that makes an impact on people.
But it's baseball. Do fun stuff.
Hand out some books to those dads that may need a little help that don't really know how to raise a child, how to be a dad, Daddy 101, Daddy for Dummies.
Then
Wouldn't
that's
that be a
daddy
little
shaming.
Yeah, that's a little insulting.
And giving out a pregnancy test ain't woman shaming?
I don't think it's woman shaming.
I think
It's
it's
if
just
you
Miss Yvonne,
you
can you
can
help a sister
participate
out?
if you want to. If you're handing out books to dads, like here, you might be dumb enough to need this.
They're
Like,
not giving them to each and every person. I mean, they have
Yeah.
them in an envelope. If you want it, you take it.
You go get
So
it,
You
yeah.
can possibly go to the game on Sunday, and that's what it's all about.
oh my
So
God, I should go
guys
to the
aren't looking
game
at it that way.
just to get a pregnancy test and freak Andrew out. No, I would never do that.
Oh my God.
I'd also give my mother a heart
You-
attack in the
you should.
process.
Yes, you would. Yes. Oh my God. That's pretty good too.
Say hi to Darcy. She's